Let me know if you have said any of these things this school year. I'm tired of this. I'm over this. What's going on with these kids? Where's my support? Right? Like, how many of us are tired at this point of the school year and are just really ready for the next school year to start? Not even just ready for the next school year to start, ready for this school year to end. And we're just looking forward to summer vacation. Like, I just need a break. Right? Like, I just need a break because we're so man, like we worked so hard throughout the school year, tried, put in so much work, and at this point, it's like I just want to relax. I just want to break because we feel like if we do that, we'll be ready for the next school year. Delshawn said, "Yo, the same. This is exactly how I'm feeling." It's it's kind of like when you're sick, right? Like when you are not feeling well, if you have a headache or your stomach hurts, a lot of time. What is it that you think you need aside from medicine? What do you feel like you need when your stomach hurts and you're not feeling well? I see you, Amber. What's up? A lot of us saying, I just need to sleep. I just need to rest. I just need to lay down, right? What is it that we're saying? Most of us saying, I just need to relax. Because a lot of times, even physically with our bodies, when we're not feeling well and something's going on with us, when we go to sleep, a lot of times when we wake up, we feel a little bit better. So we think to ourselves, okay, if I rest, I'll feel better. Why is it though? I actually had to ask myself the question. Do any of y'all know? Like why even? What's up, Sydney? Good to see you from the Bahamas. Why is it that when we feel sick, we lay down, we sleep, we end up feeling better? Well, I had to look it up. Let me look at my notes real quick. I had to look it up. And the reason why is because when we go to sleep, watch this, y'all. I always get geeked out by body stuff. The reason why is because when we go to sleep, our bodies actually release cytokines. Cytokines, they are proteins that the immune system releases while you're sleeping to help fight against inflammation, fight against infection, fight against disease, like to fight against the things that's making you feel bad. So that's why when you are sick, your stomach hurts, head hurt, whatever, and you go to sleep while you're resting, those cytokines are working. They're putting in the work fighting against those infections that are in your body, which is why when you get up, you feel better. The question I have for you though is imagine if those cytokines weren't working. Like if when you rested, if your cytokines rested as well, then when you woke up, you'd feel the same as you did when you lay down. Watch this. If those cytokines weren't putting in work while you were resting, right? You would lay down feeling defeated, sick, overwhelmed, stressed, burnt out. And when you wake up, you feel the exact same way. What I'm saying is, a lot of times we feel like it's the rest that is going to make us feel better, but it's not actually the rest that heals you, it's the work that heals you. While you're resting, the cytokines are working. And the reason why is because the cytokines are fighting off the things that cause you to have that pain in the first place. Whatever caused your headache, whatever caused your stomach ache, whatever caused you to feel the way that you're feeling, because the cytokines are putting in that work, that's what made you wake up feeling a little bit better. It's the same thing when I think about the school year. Whatever caused you to have that stress, that burnout, that overwhelm, if you just rest over the summer, that same stress, the same burnout, those same circumstances are going to face you when you go back to school in August, because it's not rest that heals you, it's work that heals you. And time off doesn't heal you if the issue is the way you spend your time on. I'm gonna say it one more time. Time off doesn't heal you if the issue is the way you spend your time on. So a lot of us are looking forward to summer vacation. Delshawn was like, listen, I am ready. Right? A lot of us are looking forward to summer because we just want to rest. But I want to let you know that if you just rest over the summer, when you get back in August, you're going to be faced with the same problems that you left. Just like if those cytokines don't go to work while you're resting, you'll wake up with the same pain. If you don't put in any work over the summer, you'll wake up with the same issues that you're facing in the classroom. That's why I think it's so important to adopt the what I call the 1% rule. Because when we think about the things that were causing us stress, if we don't address those things, we'll wake up and face the same stress. But with the 1% rule, what that means is we'll spend 1% of our summer, literally 1% of our summer, gaining skills to address those things that were stressing us throughout the past school year. Now think about 1%. 1% of your summer. Summer is about 1,700 hours. It's about 10 weeks, summer vacation, right? So about 1,700 hours. 1% of that is 17 hours. If you spend 17 hours this summer working on those things that were causing you stress this last school year, the next school year can be your best school year. Why? Because you're not facing the same things. What I want us to think about is how we're going to spend. Like what even does that 17 hours mean? 17 hours is not a whole 1%. 1% is not a lot, y'all. Like think about it. A lot of people tune out, and a lot of people say, "Man, I'm using my summer to rest." Well, I just showed you that it's not the rest that heals you. While you're resting, the cytokines are working. It's the work that heals you. It's not the rest that's going to make next school year better. It's improving on some of those practices. Is that making sense? It's improving on some of the things that are causing you stress that are going to make the next year better. It's the work that you put in. And I'm just asking for 1%. 1% is not a whole lot. Think about things that we do percentage wise. I mean, taxes are 30%. That's a lot. Tithing is 10%. Tips, I, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was a bad tipper for most of my life. Don't judge me. I was a bad tipper for most of my life. I was probably like a 1% tipper. Like for for real, for real. I'm not the same anymore. I better not see any comments coming from me. I'm not the same anymore. But I used to be a bad tipper. I was the kind of person where if my bill was $23.12, I'd be like, yeah, you can round that up to $24. they're like, they're like 88 cents, sir. I'm not, Amber, I'm not like that anymore. I said don't come for me in the comments. I'm not like that anymore. Now I'm like a 10 to 22%, 10 to 22%. I'm in there somewhere, depending on the establishment and the service. But what I'm saying is, if you would leave a 1% tip, that's not a lot. 1% tip, somebody's looking at you like that's disrespectful. I'm asking for 1% of your summer. 1% is not a lot, but just a 1% focus on gaining skills that you can use to apply to next year to attack some of the things that were stressing you this past year. If you can address some of those things, wouldn't it make sense that if you could address some of those things that were stressing you out the most this past school year, that by mastering and becoming effective in those things, that next school year will be better, right? Like if last school year, the kids acting out of turn was getting on your nerves, maybe mastering classroom management in your 1% will make next school year a better school year, right? Maybe if you felt overwhelmed by the amount of the workload, the tasks that you had to do, spending 1% this summer, learning how to prioritize your tasks that align with your classroom vision would make next school year a better school year. You see what I'm saying? Like if we're thinking about the things that caused us stress this past school year, how we can spend 1% this summer figuring out how to circumvent those things and fix those things so that next school year is our best school year. So the only thing left now, the only rational question that we have is how am I going to spend my 1%? I'm gonna give you my top 3 ways to spend your 1% this summer. Right? We already agreed 1% is not a lot, right? We already agreed that if we just do absolutely nothing, that we're gonna wake up the same way we went to sleep, right? So we're gonna put in a little bit of work, like those cytokines. We're gonna put in some work addressing those things that stressed us out, and we only need 1%. Here are my top 3 ways to use your 1% to become effective this summer. All right. It's not a lot. Amber said it's manageable. It's just 1%. Here's my top 3 ways. All right. In no particular order, but I think number 3 is my favorite. Number 1 is going to conferences. Going to conferences is a great way over the summer to learn your 1%, to get better in your 1%. The reason why is because as I think conferences are getting better, y'all. Honestly, as somebody who presents at a lot of different conferences, I think I'm doing 6 this summer. One of them is Teach Your Heart Out, where we're going to be in Tampa, and then we're going to be on a cruise. We're going to Mexico, and I'm keynoting. I'm super excited about that. But conferences are getting better. The way I know this is because as somebody who's applying for conferences, I've been getting rejected from a lot of conferences. Like I've been getting accepted to a lot. I think I'm doing maybe 12 this year, but I've also been getting rejected from some because they're saying, man, we're having such an influx of awesome proposals that we don't have space for your proposal throughout our workshop or throughout our conference. And people are seeing the feedback from other conferences. Everybody wants to be known as the best teacher conference. Everybody does. So what they're doing is they're sourcing talent from amazing presenters, people who have awesome things to bring to the table, and they're adding them to the lineup, which is why you're seeing so many of the conferences. What I would say, again, even from a presenter standpoint, when I'm presenting at a conference, when I'm submitting my proposal, we have to let them know what is going to be the transformation that this teacher is going to get if they're sitting in your workshop. We have to put that in the proposal. If all the presenters are doing this and coming to that with that type of passion, conferences are going to be a great way, a great place to learn. And what again, one of the things that was cringy about conferences before was that a lot of times it felt salesy. Like you would go to a conference and at the end of it, everybody's pitching, join my program, join my course, buy my product. But what they're doing a lot of times now is they're setting those apart in like a vendor's booth or vendor's area, and they prohibit that from happening throughout the workshops. Again, as somebody who is applying to different conferences, a lot of them saying you can't sell at the end of your presentation. All you can do is provide value. So I think conferences are getting better, and those are a great way to spend some of your 17 hours learning some skills to apply for next year. Also, it's a great place to network, meet some like-minded individuals that can be your support as you head to the next school year. So that's number one. Number two, I would say is to find a coach or a guide. I always like to identify a guide as somebody who is where you are and was where you are. No, that's not it. Somebody who is where you want to be and was where you currently are. So, a good coach, I'm gonna say it one more time because I feel like I messed it up. I want to make sure you get this. A good coach is somebody who is where you eventually want to be and was once where you currently are. That's somebody who can help you look out for pitfalls and help you um, go further faster. I would say that, man, people ask me all the time, what is one way that I can really grow? I would say the best thing that I've done in my life was invest in coaching, for real, for real. In over 3 years ago, I decided to start investing in coaching. I had a business coach, I had an educational coach as I was an assistant principal, still am an assistant principal, a spiritual coach. I went to therapy. Like when I started outsourcing, not relying completely on myself and the solutions that I have within me, but allowing God to direct me to find other people who can help me go further faster in some areas where I don't yet have proficiency. That's the thing that really helped me go further faster. Like since I started coaching, I've written a book, right? Like since I started coaching, I've become an international speaker. That didn't happen until I had a coach that saw something in me that said, you can do this, right? So a coach, somebody who can help you out, can help guide you, is a great way to spend some of your your 1%, 17 hours with somebody who is where you eventually want to be and was once where you currently are, kind of sitting at their feet or sitting side by side with them, asking them questions, picking their brain, and allowing them to give you tools, tips, and strategies to make next school year your best school year. So that's number two. And then for me, number three is, oh man, so what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to, again, address some of those skills or some of those concerns from last school year. You want professional development when you want it, how you want it, and in the areas that you need it. A lot of the issues with professional development is that sometimes it's misaligned, right? I gave this example before. It's like they'll give a professional development on how to do small groups. In like small groups, like I just want my students to be able to sit down. Like I need professional development on classroom management before you try to teach me how to do small group instruction, right? And sometimes we find ourselves finding a PD that is not necessarily relevant. But what I would, so, so I don't know what happened just now, but you know what you were struggling with this last year, right? You know what it's all about. So shouldn't you be able to choose the PD that is going to be targeted to what you need, right? Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't it make sense for you to choose PD based off of the things that you need? Let me know in the comment section. Like, doesn't that make sense for you to be able to choose PD based off of the things that you need, based off of what you were struggling with, not what somebody else says, hey, go to this just to get these credit hours, right? So that's why my favorite way, I told you number three is my favorite way. My favorite way to spend your 1% this summer is with Impact. Impact launches in July, and it is the solution that is it is the solution for irrelevant professional development, right? It is the solution that features courses and community and coaching that puts it all together, that gives you access to it. I see you, Delshawn, that gives you access to it, right? So think Netflix for your PD needs. All right. So for just $13 a month, you can join the waitlist to dive into Impact. Like it's think Netflix for your PD needs. So I actually linked it in the description down below. For those who are saying, man, I really want to be able to choose my PD when I want, how I want, and make this thing happen. A full library of courses based off of things that I've been struggling with that I can now do better. So again, I linked it in the description below. Let me know if you can see it. It should be the first link that says courses that says Impact. All right. So the cool thing is, since the platform doesn't actually launch until July, I was like, man, what can we do between now and then? So for those that sign up, for those that sign up, you can get it. Delshawn says she's already in there. Love to see you. So you already know what I'm about to say next, right? Because there's a bonus for those that sign up between now and July. You get access to the 99% of human, 1% amazing complete course, which literally right now is selling for $47. But for Impact members, it comes with a subscription, right? So doesn't that in and of itself just make it worth the subscription, right? Like a $13 a month subscription. This course standalone is $47. You get it included just for signing up. It's just kind of makes sense to me, right? So again, the link is there in the description below. So again, this is my favorite way because when I think about all the rest of the ways, for number one, PD, you have to travel. You got to go travel, stay in the hotel. Sometimes that's a pro. I get to get out on vacation, but sometimes it's a con, right? It gets expensive. You have to leave your family. And sometimes you're sending sessions. Some are hit, some are missed. Like you don't really know. But with Impact, you are able to choose the courses that you want based on your relevant PD needs. All right. And then the other one, getting coaching, that gets expensive, y'all. I won't tell you how much I invested in coaching, but it gets expensive. Super effective, but it gets expensive for one-on-one coaching, especially we're talking about 17 hours when you think about somebody that you have to pay for an hourly rate. So Impact, again, think Netflix for educational courses. It's just you're there, it's covered for just your $13 a month. You get to pick and choose what it is that you need without having to dive into invest in a singular coach. And you have access to the community. I see a couple of people in the comments, Delshawn and Amber, like, I can't wait. I know you two already signed up. I can't wait to see you guys as well. You have community where you get to learn and grow from each other, not just one particular coach. So I think it is a no-brainer. That the whole purpose of this was to make it a no-brainer. Ultimately, I just want next school year to be your best school year. So again, it's linked in the description down below. But I just want next school year to be your best school year. So spend 1% of your summer just learning some of the skills that are going to make next year better. You've got this, and I've got you. I appreciate you all so much. And you know, I'm here every Tuesday at 7:30. Catch you for those who have already signed up. I will see you on the inside of Impact. For those that are interested, remember the link is in the description below. Make next school year your best school year by investing just 1%. I'll see you in the next one.